What's the matter? This can't be. There's something inside. Why today of all days? I have to remove the whole thing now. Right now, on the glass, there are a few glass imperfections. So I'm scraping the glass since the cleaning squeezy cannot clean all of those parts. Those are so small that the human eye cannot see that. So you scrape the whole area once. As I'm scraping, I'm looking to see if I feel any kind of resistance. And if I do, I scrape it once more, like this, until it feels very, very smooth. When installing the windshield, the part that gets the most dust under the rear view mirror and right in front, there's always one or two different dust particles. What about the corners? Strangely, we don't get it in the corners, but usually in this part. The reason is, when we were outside, when we were removing the outer layer, that could create some dust. But even if that was perfect, when we are removing the outer layer inside, that's when dust from the roof and the rear view mirror gets inside. I'm gonna spray water now, and from the roof, some dust might run down. That's something that humans can't control. It's very difficult. Now I've done scraping and then cleaned any kind of dust from the top part so that it doesn't run down. And we are at the last cleaning stage. After this, we will be installing the film on the window. Usually really fine and small dust. We can't even see that to the naked eye. So, it is impossible to see the dust with our eye and then clean it. If you see dust after installing it, then do you reinstall the window film? If there is one speck of dust right in the front, then we will remove it and do it again. Just remove that speck if it's possible. But dust on the adhesive isn't easy to take out, since the inside it's adhesive. Do you hear the sounds? Even though we added the solution, the film isn't moving very smoothly. But to add too much solution would create problems with the adhesive. Do you hear the sounds here? Most other cars, you won't hear this type of sound here. This is when a lot of dust goes in, since it's moving. So the dust follows through and goes down this line. This is the hardest part where the rear view mirror is blocking the film. If the film touches the roof here, there's more dust that will come in. So there's a lot of things that you have to be caring about. It's really important how you are controlling and maneuvering the film. If the film touches any other part, there's dust for sure. So it is very important to reduce the environment where it might touch any part so that there is no dust. And our solution to that is this masking tape. So in this process, the film has already touched many parts, so we assume there is dust, and we spray a lot of water here. So we finished putting it on. Do you see this gap now that we've put it on? That gap shouldn't be seen at all. If it's a little long, it'll touch. If it's a little short, then you see the gap. It's all about that 1 millimeter. For this car, there's no other option than to cut accurately for this Porsche Cayenne. Do you think other brands install Cayennes like this as well? Everyone is probably having a very hard time. There is something that we call a cast. It's a metal cast that has been accurately cut with a laser. We know that, but we don't use it. If you make using those things a habit, if you make a habit out of that, in the end, you won't be able to install anything without those casts. I use a rough cast made out of plastic, just to cut it in a big chunk. And then I put it on the window and then cut once more accurately. If you see the edges, It's almost
잘 맞았어요.
right. Huh? What's the matter? This can't be. There's something inside. Why today of all days? I have to remove the whole thing now. First, we squeeze lightly and see how it looks. To see if we have to redo the whole thing. Why the day when we are recording? Oh man. This is definitely YouTube material. So we circle it so that we can find it later on. And it's pretty big also. Oh god, oh god, oh god. So we are removing a part of the film to try to get rid of the dust. Very, very carefully, we are removing it. Oh god. We apply some of the solution. This is almost like a doctor getting ready for surgery, washing your hands very carefully so there's no other dust. And very carefully, we go in for the surgery. What will happen? First try. Fail. Here we go for the second try. You can see how this is very delicate. It's almost there. Was it successful?
보이세요?
Can you see this?
안 보이지? 거기는.
Can you see it?
잡혀요 진짜?
Can you see it really?
포커스 이렇게 보시면.
Try to focus on it.
다행이다.
The reason why I use a plastic squeegee first is when there's a dust that has gone in, we may not need to remove it completely, but just a part of it so that we can hopefully remove that dust particle easily and quickly. And this provides that opportunity. If we squeeze right away, then that opportunity is gone. So we first squeeze with the plastic squeegee so that it's not as strongly done. And then afterwards we use this rubber squeegee. So we check once more to see if the dust is gone, and it's clean. There, it's gone. When you're squeezing first, it's really important to use your hand to hold the film. Especially for windows that are kind of very firm and the film doesn't move that much. If you don't hold it with your hand, there's a chance that the film might be folded over. And now we change equipment to make it more precise. Now we are at the last squeezing of this stage. I usually use this 10 centimeters squeegee whenever we're squeezing. Usually in the US, there's 13 centimeter squeegees, but because of the curvature of the window, the water isn't squeezed as well. It might bend a bit, but it's still very strong, so it doesn't bend very well. So this 10 centimeter one is very useful. If you have a 13 centimeter one, just cut it, make it 10 or 9 centimeters. Then the water, especially for sputtered films, water will come out much easily. If you do it twice, if you run through it twice like this, or once, then with both hands, if you use both hands, it'll be very clean. Try to give it an incline. If you do it like this, you can squeeze out all the water at once.
한 번에 빼실 수가 있습니다.
What's important is this angle.
스키징 하실 때 보세요.
Look at this.
이렇게 갔죠.
If I go this way, then you go once more like this. If you go this way, the water will run down.
겹쳐서
So try to overlap and give that angle.
겹쳐서
Overlap, give angle. Overlap, give that angle.
겹쳐서 밀고.
There is some water at the edges, so we can't really say that the edges are perfectly done right now. Since we can't see the very edges with our very eyes, we won't know. So to reduce that humidity and finish, we usually use this suede cloth to get rid of any kind of water that might be left over. Remove the moisture from all of the edges. There is some water that I can feel here. So there is a chance that the film might come off. The part that we had the dust is right here. And you can see that there is a very small smudge. But can you see it through the camera?
자, 카메라 보이시나요? 안 보이시나요? 미세 자국이
There's a
남았는데
very, very faint smudge that is left over.
자국이 있거든요. 지금 여기 없는 겁니다.
It's actually not there.
보이시죠?
So as long as the water evaporates, it will be gone.
보여질 것 같진 않습니다.
Probably not be visible to the naked eye. It will be dissolved. FYI, our Surex film is a very durable film with a very good hard coating. So normally any kind of scratch, it won't happen. It's very scratch resistant, even if you just try to scratch it. Usually because of these scratches, we'll put some tape on or use a cloth with these squeegees. But this film is very strong compared to the other films because of this hard coating that it has. I've never received a complaint call that there was a scratch on this film. So this ends the installation. So we will be removing the logo in the front part because it reduces visibility, and we will also erase the markers here as well. But we have finished it. Windshield installation is what we call the beauty of all car window installations. For the front window, it's not only that you need a good film, it has to be clean. And if possible, without any kind of dust as well, or at least very minimal dust. That's the most important part. When talking about dust, it's not the dust particle that we might see with our eyes. It might be invisible, but that kind of dust, if it is in front of the driver's seat, that means that we might have to redo the whole thing, or the customer has to endure that. It's either one of those two options. So the most important part, the beauty of window tinting, is this front view window. And to make that into a perfect situation, you have to think about the processes that we saw when we were outside. When we're setting the film, we're heat shrinking, we're cutting, we're removing the film, we're adding solution, and we're rolling it up, we're going inside, we're cleaning and cleaning. And then we're putting the film on, we're squeezing it, cleaning the edges and the last checks that we do. Through these processes, we have to go to a more perfect process to create a better quality so that our customers are more satisfied. while we are doing this window tinting until probably I die. Windshield installation is gonna be the most important part, and we were gonna have to study on and on and on. Every car is very unique with the curvature and the type of glass, the edges, so you have to get a lot of experience with many different cars. I hope that through this video that you saw today, it will help you at least a little bit in your professional lives as a tinter. Everyone who uses our Glasstint films, as well as anyone else who is a window tinter and needs help. I hope that this video has been a great time for you and a great help, and I will come back next time with a better video, and this will be all for today. Thank you.